What's up, you guys? Thanks for clicking on this video here for me for my review of Chapter 5 of The Mandalorian, this great series we all been watching. But this one I had to rewatch a few times before I made this video because the first time didn't sit quite well with me, and I just wanted to make sure I reprocess it and watch it again. And I definitely feel better about the episode than I did initially, but I still have something I didn't like, and then maybe just a concern that hopefully you guys can help me out with, because I don't think it's a concern, but hopefully they're not going in this direction. But let's get into it. My problem with this episode seems to be a little different than what most people are nitpicking it about. My issue is we meet three new characters in this. We meet the assassin, we meet the lady that's repairing the ship, and we meet our Han Solo guy. The Han Solo guy and the lady that with the droids helping out the ships coming in from 4 planets. To me, guys, she just did not fit. She was too, I don't know if clean's the word, but like, if you could just imagine how they've been doing these Mandalorian episodes where, if you've been watching my reviews, I mentioned how all these characters feel like they've lived in something, like, Grief Karga, the Imperial, guy, and just to me to think about, yes, this is Tatooine, right? But this is post-Empire. She's working at this place where all these foreign ships probably come in and get repaired, get fuel, whatever they need. And she just seemed way too clean. Like, she didn't seem like she had been through anything that's been going on in Star Wars lately. And the reason why I think this hit me so hard is because I was about to make a video about the tone in Star Wars. I just got done playing Jedi Fallen Order, these episodes of Mandalorian, and I was thinking about just the tone and how even the human characters, they're human characters in Star Wars. Like, they're not earthlings, right? This lady seemed like too much of an earthling. Like, she seemed like she could have been in so many other shows, not Star Wars. Like, and she just would have fit right in. I don't know if I'm explaining that quite correctly, but she was not. So let's compare her to the assassin lady that we meet that ends up getting killed. That lady, like, she clearly she was a human that had been growing up in the Star Wars universe and been going through all these things. Now, I'm not saying you can't have, like our past episode where you have those villages, those more peaceful places. Yes, that makes sense. But for me, this lady did not fit. Like, she was working in a place where she's probably exposed to all kind of stuff. Yeah, and like, she seemed way too clean. That's the best way I can put it. And she didn't fit for me. She didn't fit, and she didn't go overall with the tone that the Mandalorian that I was wanted to praise the Mandalorian for. Anyway, that was my thoughts on her. And then the hotshot guy, I guess I kind of came around on him, but it was the same thing. Like, he seemed too clean. Like, he did not seem like somebody that's trying to be a bounty hunter in the Star Wars universe. I know they're trying to compare him to Han, and if you want to do that, like, that's fine. Let's say, how you gonna be mad at him and not Han? But for me, he just seemed too clean. He seemed like he could have been in other shows, not Star Wars. He just seemed just ill prepared to be trying to go after this assassin. Like I know, like, the whole thing was him being over his head, but I mean, goodness, like, he seemed way over his head trying to go after some assassin like this. He just seemed too clean. Like, he did not seem like an original Star Wars character at all. He literally looked like he could have been plucked from some other show and just dropped in Star Wars. And I don't know, again, help me out if I'm explaining this right to you guys, if you felt the same way. Maybe you didn't. I know a lot of people's draw to this episode was the whole Tatooine reunion, which was great. Like, it's funny, we've seen so many desert planets lately. I'm like, oh, is this going to be the one that's Tatooine? And then once he's like walking through, the streets, and I noticed that look, it's straight from Tatooine. It's like, oh yeah, this is it. So, this chapter 5, when you look at these past 2 episodes, and I did like the last one. The last one fit much better than me just because of the setting they were in. It fit. But this one here is like, okay, what are they about to be doing with this show? Because the first 3 episodes seem like an arc to something, and these last 2 have seemed like these one-off episodes where they're going off and doing these adventures, and then this one just being so clean with the character, other than the assassin, who there's a little cliffhanger after that. So maybe that's all this episode was for. I'm sure it is, because the assassin and whoever the person that shows up, those are probably great Star Wars original, characters that have been a part of this world. But, the other 2 that they focused on, they didn't seem to fit. And I guess maybe because we had last episode, I was just expecting to get a little more. I'm just curious about, I don't know if it's the casting they did or just why those characters were so clean. They did not seem to fit. Like compare those two to the characters we've been meeting. Like everybody in that bar from the first scene in episode 1, all the, and again, I know that this is a different setting and, they're not going through exactly what's going on that planet, but to me, Tatooine should still have some of that grit. Like, yes, there are some, just some slavers and stuff there, whatever. But again, she's working at this place where anybody could have flew in on that ship, and try to get their ship repaired. And she just seemed way too clean. Like, I don't know. And the fact that, I don't know, maybe she would have been better as like an alien character. I know that sounds bad, but like, she just didn't seem to fit. If she was supposed to be like a petite, kind of helpless person to help, compare her to the person we meet in episode 2 and 3, the Ugnaught, the what's his slang? Oh goodness, I have spoken. Compare her to that guy. That guy had been living on that world, like experiencing everything. A original Star Wars character. You could see him, that he's gone through everything that's been going on. This one, I just didn't see it. So again, that's just kind of the problem I had with the episode. It wasn't all bad. Again, it wasn't like a bad episode. I was confused by that. And guys, if you disagree with what I'm saying, please let me know in the comments, because I'm really wanting help on this. I don't think I had the same read on those characters as everyone else. I think they really flattered and charmed a lot of people. Let me know in the comments if you felt that way. But almost instantly, I was turned off by the lady, and again, that guy, just something about him. Like, I don't know what show you'd pluck him from, but it seemed like he could have been in a lot of different things. Like, not Star Wars. Just his appearance, the way he was acting. It just, I don't know. It didn't seem to fit. But let me get past that. Kind of talk about the episode a little bit. I think the Mandalorian, I think he was supposed to learn that he needs to take care of the child better, but he still made just some questionable decisions, I guess. But I mean, it's a show, but I was surprised he was willing to leave the baby with anyone. Like, maybe I could see the ship. He thought he locked them in the ship, but after that, leaving her with the lady that he doesn't know, and he knows people are going after the child. Again, it's a show. It's got to do what it's got to do sometimes. He has to make some mistakes to keep the plot moving, but I would love things to just get back to those first 3 episodes where it seemed like it was building up to a plot. Again, we haven't seen those Mandalorians since they saved them. So again, I do have sympathy for the show, because you gotta remember the state Star Wars was in when they started making this. And probably a lot of reason they didn't market the Baby Yoda, because there's a good chance that would have turned a lot of people off. Like, if they'd have heard that this show was gonna be with some Baby Yoda, they probably would have thought it was like some kind of fan service stuff. So maybe they didn't, without knowing how people were gonna receive Baby Yoda or just the show, they didn't know to just go all in this direction. Maybe they wanted to have these few episodes to see what are people going to think about these more family-oriented episodes. That's really what they are, and that's what I was going to break down in my video, is that I feel like, the movies are definitely more family-oriented, which is fine. And, The Mandalorian, could be the chance where they really, target more to the older audience, and, the games as well. And I thought that with the success of those, that we might even see that more in the movies, or a line of movies that are, keep this tone. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. It was a fine episode. Let me know who you think that guy was that came there at the end. There's a lot of speculation. Click out real quick if you don't want to see spoilers. 1, 2, 3. There's speculation that it might be Boba Fett, some people are saying, but it's more realistic. It's probably like a Grief Karga, or there's another black officer, looks like an Imperial officer, that we see in some of the marketing that we haven't seen yet. So I think those are probably the most 2 likely options, but we'll see. I'm excited for it. Thank you guys for watching, and please let me know in the comments what you thought about what I said, because I know I might be out on a limb.